Hola, welcome. Thank you. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Thank you so much for joining me on another edition of Puertas Abiertas, your show right here in GKI Radio. I am your host, Maricarmen Rodriguez, your realtor. This is your house. This is where you come to talk and where you come to learn and where you come for us to give you tools and instructions. And remember, when you open the door, so really, sincerely, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad that everybody is enjoying this show, that you guys are calling in and sending us email. I'm going to remind you again, 407-476-9059 is our number. The email is so easy, Puertas Abiertas Show. And I love to hear from you. We've had so many stories that I'm so happy, elated. I'm honored that you guys have loved this and taking it at heart. I'm going to open up today with something that I've just been getting bombarded with questions. I know it's a tough market. I know buyers are struggling out there to find properties. So I have a lender on the line. And with me today, I have Rey Galivan. He is with Clear to Close. He's a loan originator. And I want you guys to get tools. I want you guys to be well informed, and I want you guys to know what is available out there for you. Rey, are you on the line?
I am. Hi, Marty. How are you? Thank you very much. Thank you to all the listeners as well.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me and joining us. And believe it or not, that is the point of the show, that folks have firsthand information from amazing lenders like you, people who have been doing this for so many years, that represent such incredible, huge lending houses, and that you know your craft well, that we can inform folks so that they can avoid a lot of the issues and pitfalls that we're hearing in the market nowadays, since it's so competitive. So I'm going to give you free reign. This is your time. And please walk us through the documents that you will need from a buyer, whether it's first-time home buyer, whether somebody else. The next 10 minutes are all yours, and we're here to listen and to learn from you. So start as you wish.
Okay, thank you so much, Marty. I'll start with a little bit about myself. Basically, I got into the market in about 2007. And since then, I've worked in different platforms where I've worked with direct lenders, and I've worked with companies that not only serve as a direct lending institution, but they also broker out. The beautiful thing about that, which current situation that I'm in right now with Clear to Close Home Loans, it's a great organization that gives us the opportunity to basically offer so many different products, all the products out there in the market, to the different types of buyers that are in this market today. Now, just to give you an idea based on question as far as the documentation needed, what the banks want to see is a 2-year history of employment.
That's true.
They want to know where you work, the type of income that you make, and not only how much, but the type, whether it be commission, tip background, or even salary. They also want to know the assets. They want to be able to verify the amount of money available for your purchase.
And that you touch on that, Rey, being a realtor, I want to make sure that the audience understands that a bank, a lender, an organization cannot work with monies that are not somehow in some sort of institution, because there's no way to reconfirm not only where those monies came from, that those monies may not be a loan or some other thing. Can you elaborate just a tad on that so folks understand the importance of having monies deposited and visible in an account so that a lender or a bank is able to work with those funds?
Absolutely. Funds, where they come from, very big. And it's a good question because it's common to hear where somebody may have funds saved in their home, under their mattress, so to speak. And basically, everything we tell the bank has to be verified. Cash cannot be verified. That's why it cannot be used. The funds need to be deposited into an account. Now, that account can be a checking, savings. It could even be an investment account, a retirement account, as long as it can be verifiable. So that pretty much, it narrows in on that point, and I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, so folks understand that nobody's going to take a risk on you. I like to always make something simple so folks understand. How can I trust that what you're telling me is true when I cannot verify the information? It's just that easy, right? And because I know people say, oh, no, but I have it, but it's mine, but I've been saving it. Yeah, that's beautiful, but how do I really, really know that it's yours? I'm just taking your word. And banks are not people. Banks are organizations. Banks have to work on what is real, what is substantiated. They have to tell an internal investor, this is why this person is a good person to take a loan, because we can see this and we know that this is the truth and this person can back up this loan. So I just want you guys to listen to that. I want you guys to be aware of that and know why this is happening. And please continue forth. I just want to make sure that the audience was aware of the importance of having all of those monies somewhere visible and accountable.
That is huge, actually. You're correct, Maria. That basically can end the transaction for a buyer and a lender. That money needs to be deposited into an account, yes. And basically, the bank is going to ask for 2 previous, most recent months of assets, wherever that money is in. And that is how they will verify those funds. So to reiterate, we look at employment, we look at assets, and then you have credit. Credit is very big as well. Credit allows the lending institution to determine whether you can repay this loan. They want to know not only your scores, but the amount of liabilities that you have there, the monthly payments that you make.
And I want to stop you for just a second, because I know that sometimes when we're speaking, like among professionals, we understand certain lingo, and I want the audience to understand what a liability means. A liability means, are you going to be a good bet for me that you're going to pay me this money back? It's as simple as that, folks. When a bank says liability, we are the liability. Whoever they're lending to is the liability. Are we really someone that they can trust, that we've paid our credit cards on time, that we take care of our responsibilities on time, that we're not spending more than what we earn and overstretching ourselves? And are we a good liability for them to say, okay, based on what I see, I think my money's safe with you because you are going to pay me back based on your history. So I want the audience to understand why credit is important, because it's the only thing that a bank or an institution can see as whether you have been paying your stuff on time. Continue, Ray. Exactly. We have 3 more minutes.
Exactly, Mari. Actually, and to add to that, when we say liability, it does only include what shows up on credit, and it's a monthly payment for your auto loan, your student loan, credit cards. It's not going to include anything that does not show up on your credit report. So basically, that information, when you add it all up, it can determine the type of loan product that you could purchase, the type of even property. Believe it or not, some properties require a higher down payment than others, and not only that, the interest rate. So from there, we will be able to determine what would be the best opportunity for you. Not only what the best opportunity, but that you could choose from, whatever you may think is best for you and your family when you make that purchase.
And it's great that you touched on something, and I am sure I'm going to have you back for another show and another show and another show, because it's, I mean, people think that lending or getting a loan or talking about this subject is so easy, and that's why I think most folks do not understand the mortgage process, because they've never had someone just to sit down like you're doing right now, like we're doing right now in the show, and just break it down for you in simple words and in ways for you to understand that even if you're my brother and I lend you $100, what are the possibilities of me getting it back? And I want you guys to visualize that. And if you owe $100,000, how is it that you want me to lend you this amount of money? How are you going to pay that back if you only make 90, right? Everything is like common sense knowledge of finances. You touched on something that very briefly, I'm in my last minute. I can't believe that. Why? Listen, can I have you back for another segment? Can you stay with me for another segment? Because I want to touch on something very important that you said about some properties requiring a different down payment. And that is key, because in real estate, I deal with that every day. But unfortunately, folks, I'm going into a commercial break. I'll be right back. This is your place. This is your home. Puertas Abiertas, information, tips, and stories. here on GKI Radio. This is Maricarmen, your host, and I want to see you back because we're going to get more with Rey, okay? Welcome back. Like the song, right? Welcome back. Hey, I love this segment. This is a segment where you guys call us, where you guys send your emails, and we're able to call you back and get your story on the line. Thank you so much for continuing to bring them on. Thank you so much for continuing to join me here in Puertas Abiertas, your home, your show, everything real estate related. I have on the phone right now Pilar Jaques. She's calling us from Manville, New Jersey. And she's so sweet. She was talking to Janet, who takes all of our calls. And she's an amazing story that I love for you guys to hear so that you are aware of what to pay attention in certain areas. And I'm going to have her give us her story. Hola, Pilar. I will be translating for Pilar. Pilar is a Spanish-speaking someone from our audience who only speaks Spanish, and I'll be more than happy to translate for her. Pilar, ¿cómo estás?
Buenas, ¿cómo está?
Bien, mi amor, bien. Gracias por llamarnos, gracias por escuchar el programa y gracias por traer tu historia a la luz, que yo estoy segura puede ayudar a muchas otras personas de la audiencia que están presentes hoy con nosotros. Cuando quieras, estamos listos para escucharte.
Sí, pues mi historia es, pues nosotros somos una familia que vivimos en Memphis. Estábamos viviendo en Hillsboro, cerca de acá, y estábamos buscando casa, nuestra primera casa, con los ahorros de toda la vida, con la ilusión, lo difícil que está el real estate hoy en día.
Así es, así es.
Y estábamos buscando, y sabes que para comprar casa ahora es como una subasta, tiene que estar el que más se ofrezca. Y pusimos muchas ofertas y hasta que por fin se nos dio, compramos nuestra casa en diciembre del año pasado, el 2020, perdón.
Okay.
Firmamos el contrato, el cierre, y no nos dijeron, cuando llenamos lo de la casa, que ya estábamos todo aprobado, ya el proceso estaba bastante adelantado. Nos dijeron que la casa necesitaba seguro de inundación. Y entonces, pues, nosotros preguntamos, pero el área es muy inundable. Y la realtor nos investigó, supuestamente, nos dijo que en esta casa, pues, no había habido ningún flood anteriormente. Y que solamente sí lo requería para seguridad, pero no que era un sitio de muchos problemas.
Bueno, el seguro suyo o en la ciudad, en el registro de la ciudad, su propiedad no estaba marcada en un lugar de inundación o sí estaba marcada como un lugar de inundación.
Sí, cuando ya nosotros estábamos con el proceso bastante adelantado, nos dijeron que sí estaba en el mapa, estaba en un lugar, pero era moderado.
Ok, no era una X, bueno, en la Florida decimos X cuando estás en un lugar que sí tiende a ser un área elevada de flood. No sé si en New Jersey es lo mismo, pero asumo que tiene que ser lo mismo, que hay diferentes niveles. Y por eso es que es el seguro o las compañías de seguros que aceptan o no aceptan. Okay.
Sí, es una zona X, pero es una zona 3 moderada. O sea que ellos tienen un rango hasta 10. O sea que era muy moderado, que teníamos que tener nuestro seguro de inundación, pero no es que porque la casa es bastante elevada, o sea, es bastante alta, es un área de inundación, pero es alta.
Okay.
Y entonces, pues, la compramos, estábamos muy contentos porque llenaba todos los requisitos de nosotros, de todo lo que uno busca en un checklist en una casa para comprar. Y cuando ya teníamos 9 meses, con el remaining de Storm Ida, nuestra propiedad que es flood, y se nos inundó, hubo 11 pies de agua en la casa y perdimos todo.
Oh my God.
Y
Pero
apenas 9 meses.
¿hubo alguna tormenta? ¿Hubo Aira?
Sí,
Oh
hubo
my
el
God.
Aida,
Ok.
Aida Hurricane.
Ok,
Aida
ok,
Hurricane.
perdón, es que no se escuchaba bien. So, fue una tormenta que vino y ustedes tuvieron 11 pies debajo de agua. Oh my God.
Sí, porque nosotros tenemos basement, el basement tiene 8 pies, el basement se inundó completo. Y el primer piso, gracias a Dios, la casa es de todo, es two-story house. Porque teníamos la sala, comedor, cocina, lobby, garaje, todo en el primera planta. Y todo se dañó, todo se echó a perder. O sea, entonces suerte que teníamos el seguro, porque que lo requería. Si no lo vi, porque muchas áreas aquí no tenían seguro porque no era área de inundación y como quiera se inundó, porque estuvo bien, bien horrible.
Y pobre gente sin seguro. Oh my God.
Sí, sí, fue muy, muy triste. Nuestros vecinos que eran de una sola, un ranch, perdieron todo, por poco se ahogan. A nosotros nos tuvieron que sacar en canoa, en botecitos, tiraron por la ventana del segundo piso, porque el primer piso estaba completamente inundado, o sea, la mitad, o sea, y el peligro de las casas estaban explotando por lo eléctrico, los gas, por las escapes de gas. Fue un desastre, un desastre. Gracias a Dios, pues el seguro, pues, nos dio, eso es otra cosa que no nos explicaron de los seguros, no nunca lee las letras pequeñas, como dice. Y el seguro no nos dice que no nos dan solamente para los belongings, no nos dan casi nada, nos dieron $2,000. Perdimos más de $50,000, perdimos 3 carros.
Espérate, el seguro solamente te cubrió, el seguro te cubrió la casa completa, por lo menos la casa solamente.
Para reconstruirla.
Ok.
Sí.
Pero no, y el
no
lodging nada más que te cubrió hasta ciertas cosas, pero, ok, los autos y lo que estaba en la propiedad no estaban estacionados dentro de la propiedad, o los seguros de carros son separados. Por aquí todo lo que esté dentro de tu propiedad, en el garaje, oh my gosh.
En el garaje había uno, en el driveway había otro y otro afuera, los 3 que se perdieron. Porque afuera estaba hasta los signs de stop, todo no se veía el sign de stop sign. Estaba cubierto de agua, había más de 8 pies afuera de agua. Y pues, de momento, porque tenemos el Maricarmen River y tenemos el Millstone River. Tenemos 2 rivers que no están muy lejos de acá, pero no sé la verdad qué es lo que pasó. Ahora, al haber comprado hace un año, es más difícil vender. Somos primeros compradores. ¿Y quién nos va a comprar ahora la propiedad tan rápido si está en un área de inundación? Estamos entre la espada y la pared. Nos arreglaron la casa, nos hicieron todo nuevo. Tuvimos que empezar desde cero porque no nos ocurrió nada de lo que teníamos adentro. Tuvimos que empezar a comprar todo. Y los seguros del carro,
pero tú sabes que eso me extraña. Bueno, no sé si en New Jersey lo mismo que aquí, pero supuestamente tu seguro de homeowner, por eso es que se paga más, porque los tenants tienen un seguro que solamente es para contenido, por eso mismo, porque el dueño es responsable de la estructura, o el condominio, el condominio es responsable, o el dueño es responsable de la estructura, y el inquilino es responsable de todo contenido. Cuando uno es un homeowner, el seguro supuestamente, o como te digo, la Florida te tiene que cubrir también lo que tú le pongas de valor de tu contenido. Uno siempre le da un valor, yo no sé, 50, 60, $70,000, ¿no? De contenido. Pero yo sé que eso es parte de la cobertura que tienen Homeowners Insurance, por lo menos en la Florida.
Y nosotros aplicamos para el Homeowner Insurance porque tenemos 2 seguros por la propiedad. Tenemos el Homeowner Insurance y tenemos el Flood Insurance. El Homeowner Insurance hice el claim y no me cubren nada porque era por flood. Ellos cubren cuando es por otra razón, pero no por flood.
Oh my God. So, entonces, Flood Insurance no te cubrió los muebles porque eso
no es... Los belongings solamente $2,000 porque ellos dicen que hay que pagar $5,000 de deducible. O sea, $5,000 de deducible para que te cubra $2,000. O sea, es like, you know, y $2,000 para hotel. Y nosotros estuvimos en hotel casi 4 meses, porque apenas vinimos para Navidad porque nos entregaron la casa y eso pasó en septiembre 1. Y desde ese día, cuando por fin pudimos llegar a un hotel, porque no había paso por ningún lado para llegar a un hotel, cuando nos rescataron todo, estuvimos en el hotel hasta diciembre, a mediados de diciembre. Y nos gastamos mucho más de $12,000 en hotel, nada más nos dieron $2,000 para hotel.
La moraleja, moraleja, señores, como están escuchando, extremadamente importante que cuando ustedes compren un seguro, pregunten a la compañía de seguro cuáles son las cosas que cubren en casos de una catástrofe. Porque es muy importante saber qué pasa en un flood insurance si mi casa entera se me inunda y tengo 10 o 11 pies de agua. ¿Qué pasa con el contenido? ¿Qué pasa con las cosas? ¿De qué manera se puede resolver? Y si uno tiene, tú sabes que a lo mejor te indica la compañía de seguro, bueno, pongo un poquito más o pongo uno extra. Ese es el momento. Bueno, ustedes, sabes que sinceramente te agradezco mucho tu llamada porque yo no sabía que New Jersey se inundaba. Como estoy tan acostumbrada a la Florida siempre tenemos huracanes, tenemos cosas, pues uno está... Pero es increíble. Bueno, después que escuchamos lo que pasó en New Orleans, se salió, oye, sí, ya hay que tener cuidado, todo lo que se costa en los Estados Unidos, el clima está cambiando, hay que tener, pero qué horrible. Y uno a veces que no se pregunta con lo seguro, bueno, realísticamente, yo quiero saber en caso de una catástrofe, todo lo que mi seguro me va a incluir, ese es el momento. Ese es el momento, pero como estamos escuchando de la señora Pilar, ¿qué vamos a hacer después de eso? Y como usted dice, toda la realidad, aunque el mercado está fuerte ahora, y a lo mejor sería, usted compró con un FHA, el FHA creo que tienes que tener la propiedad por 1 año antes de venderla, porque es parte de las regulaciones de FHA. Ahora, en tu caso, yo estoy segura, o bueno, déjeme echar eso para atrás. Yo creo que siendo eso una catástrofe, lo que le llamamos un act of God, en que un próximo lender, si usted quiere vender ahí, hacer su disclosure, que así hubo inundaciones, a lo mejor no te van a dar, obviamente, todo lo que usted pagó o todo lo que la casa le costó en el primer año que la compraste. No sé exactamente cómo están los precios en New Jersey. ¿Usted tiene una idea de cuánto es el valor de la propiedad ahora y te cubriría lo que te queda de pagar del loan?
Bueno, supuestamente yo chequeé en Zillow y la propiedad ya subió de valor. No sé si y todo lo hicieron después de ese cambio del precio, es después de la tormenta. Que yo pensé que iba a bajar, supuestamente no, subió, porque todo está muy alto. Pero no sé, en el momento de que la persona pueda poner el seguro, el flood, al chequear el récord de la casa, la persona no va a querer comprar con un seguro alto. A nosotros no nos salió tan alto el seguro porque era moderado, pero ahora me imagino que nos van a tener que aumentar, porque la casa salió más de $130,000 arreglarla.
Wow.
Y un consejo que yo le quería dar a las personas que me están oyendo, que no solamente chequear el seguro, sino vayan al township del área donde van a comprar, que por favor, si no lo ha servido, que lo haga la persona. Y ellos le pueden dar información, cosas que ahora me dijeron que yo no lo sabía en un pasado, por ignorancia de nosotros no teníamos experiencia en nada de esto. Puede ir al township y preguntar por permisos, los permisos que se piden para renovar la casa, para cosas así, porque cuando uno hay inundación, hay que sacar permisos para hacer todo lo que es electricidad, el HVAC y plomería, para cuando hay que reparar, porque requiere que cambien todo nuevo. Y eso el township tiene que ir a la casa con los permisos. Cuando uno va a investigar, le pueden decir cuándo fue la casa inundada y ya uno, pues, así haya podido dar un down payment, puede retirarse.
Correcto.
Y no comprarla.
Y sabes que le diste en el clavo en algo que aparte que esté en el township, mi recomendación, después de hacer real estate 20 años, cuando alguien está comprando una casa, debe haber un seller's disclosure. Y les voy a decir porque es importante, es algo que acabas de decir. Aunque la realtor no sepa, déjeme decirle que un dueño sí sabía muy bien, si compró esa casa y estuvo ahí durante esa situación, sabía muy bien que la casa se inundó. Cuando un dueño dice en un seller's disclosure, oh, yo no tengo conocimiento de eso, esa persona se está abriendo lo que se llama un lawsuit, porque estás mintiendo a alguien que va a comprar. Segundo, a mí me extraña que el propio seguro de la propiedad, que hace un seguro, que tampoco sepa o que vaya a los county records, pero tienes toda la razón. Señores, es importante que los county records de las propiedades que usted va a comprar estén claros y hechos. Que tengan un seller's disclosure es muy importante. Ese vendedor no puede mentir bajo la ley, y que tengan personas profesionales.
Perdona que te interrumpa, en mi caso, la persona que se le compró la casa, nunca lo pudimos ver porque ni en el closing estuvieron. Todo fue por lo del COVID, no estuvieron en el closing.
Claro, que es lo que está pasando hoy en día.
Sí.
Pilar,
y ellos compraron la propiedad antes de que, o sea, antes de cualquier unión, ellos tenían en la propiedad 3 años. Ellos tenían en la propiedad fue renovada la casa en el 17, en el 17 no hubo huracán.
Wow.
O sea, del 17 hasta el 20 que compré, ellos tuvieron 3 años y nunca hubo huracán. O sea, el huracán último fue en el 2012, que tengo entendido.
O sea, a lo mejor ni ellos sabían, ni habían hecho un record público, ni sabían nada de lo que estaba pasando.
Y tuvieron suerte, nunca se le inundó y nosotros corrimos con la mala suerte que nos pasó a nosotros. Uno nunca piensa que nos va a tocar a uno, pero por eso es que uno tiene que informarse y antes de dar un paso tan grande como este.
Y yo siempre digo que por precaución, pregúntenle a su realtor, asegúrense con el seguro de la propiedad que se haya hecho un county record. Que haya hecho un county record. El lender también me sorprende porque los lenders son los más fuertes. Los bancos que prestan, los prestamistas, quieren asegurarse de muchas cosas. Pero ya como ustedes ven, se le puede pasar a mucha gente y al final del día, la persona que va a tomar todo el front, todo el problema, es el dueño, la persona que vive en la propiedad. Debemos de armarnos informarnos, como decimos en este programa, entre más usted sabe, mejor. Vamos a escuchar lo que dijo Pilar, ya tenemos una historia. Señores, no compren nada que ustedes no hayan visto en los records, que no tengan un seller's disclosure, que ustedes le pregunten a su lender y a su representante, necesito asegurarme de que en esta casa no ha habido inundaciones, no ha habido problemas, no ha habido fuego, no ha habido moho, especialmente en la Florida, porque es una inundación. Por eso es que tienen que reconstruir todo. Cuando viene calor, que usted piense que va a pasar en esas paredes que estuvieron humedecidas, ahí el moho va a crecer. Esto es ciencia, eso es básico. Y una persona no puede estar en un lugar que estuvo inundado porque el moho te va a matar. Oye, muchísimas gracias. Ha sido un placer hablar contigo. Ojalá tuviéramos mucho más tiempo, pero quiero que me llames de vuelta. Quiero un seguimiento sobre ti. El mercado está buenísimo para vender. Yo sé que si llamas y hablas con tu lender, usted estuvo en una situación que se llama an act of God, ¿ok? Nadie puede prevenirse de eso y usted hizo todo lo correcto. Es buen tiempo para vender. Si estás insatisfecha, siempre hay gente que van a querer comprar por necesidad. A lo mejor no le vas a sacar el máximo, pero vas a sacar suficiente para ir a otro lugar que sea safer. Y esperemos que no haya más huracanes o inundaciones en esa área. Dios permita. Dios permita, pero por favor síguenos llamando, mantente en contacto con nosotros. Me encantaría saber cómo termina, si vas a vender la casa, si te vas a quedar un tiempo más. Me encantaría tener un seguimiento tuyo porque estás en un estado donde pasan cosas muy similares a lo que pasan acá en la Florida y que posiblemente pasen en muchos otros estados como New Orleans, como Texas, como California, muchos lugares que tenemos costa, y aprendemos todos de todos. Y gracias por tus precauciones, gracias por lo que tenemos que hacer. Desafortunadamente se me acabó el tiempo. Esto ha sido súper interesante. Muchas gracias, Pilar. Te agradezco mucho.
Dejarme poner mi historia.
No, mi amor, gracias a ti por habernos llamado. Hey, I'll be right back. It's a short commercial break. But remember to drop your comments, emails, or questions right here. Your number is 407-476-9059. Maricarmen Rodriguez is my name. Make sure you put your name and your question. And I'm going to be right back with your show, Puertas Abiertas, here on GKI Radio. Hello, and we're back. Continuing with the conversations. Between the breaks, we're always talking, aside of being women, this is real estate. We're always talking about everything that is going on before you guys come and they tell me you're on. In the previous show that you were in, you were talking about everything that a first-time home buyer needs and the importance of reporting all of your income, especially when you're looking to buy, especially right before that time. But we did not touch, we touched, I believe, on the 1099, but we didn't touch what happens if a person owns their own company. How does a person that owns their own company can prepare so they can purchase a property?
Ok, buenas tardes again. Sí, ahora, acerca de eso yo te estaba comentando. Las personas que tienen una empresa, lógicamente no están trabajando para un empleador, no tienen cómo reportar una entrada fija mensual. Lo que se puede lograr con esto, y hemos hecho con muchos de nuestros clientes, es que la empresa que ellos tienen pueden elaborar o una W2 o una 1099. De esa manera ellos van a estar mostrando una entrada periódica, entonces van a poder reportar de que sí están en capacidad de sustentar ese loan que ellos están pidiendo.
Okay. So for those of us, or for those of you that Spanish is not your first language, what the accountant is telling us, it's okay, I love it. This is a bilingual show. Actually trilingual, because sometimes we have folks that speak Creole and Poland and ask us questions. And let me tell you, whatever language you speak, please send your questions in. I'll find somebody who can translate in your language. I have no problem with that. What Martha was telling us is that remember that when you are your own employee, when you own your own company, of course you're not getting a 1099, so it's your own company. And most of the time when we own our own company, we don't necessarily pay ourselves a check every week. So what an accountant can do for you is establish a W-2 form.
Exactly.
And then with a W-2 form, you have consistency of payment that a bank can see at the end of the year what has been your steady income. And that way you can go ahead and apply for a loan. So what are the things that you recommend, like corporations or self-employed people, that they should be looking out for or doing aside of making sure that they have a W-2 form for purchase?
One thing that I highly recommend is sometimes they do the same. They in order to don't pay that much amount of taxes, they don't show what they really making. And depends on the company. Depends on the company income tax that you're presenting. Depends on the income that you're presenting in your company. How that's the account they're gonna see. That's the way you're gonna obtain the loan. You definitely have to present income on the account, and also even the supports that are the bank statements will help you. The income tax return has to show that you are making money, because that's the whole purpose. If the bank or if the lender, so that you don't have either on your statements, bank statements, or in your bank account or in your income tax, enough money to support the loan, they won't take you seriously. They would just.
So it's the same thing that we always say, folks. If you're 1099, if you're self-employed, or if you have a corporation, if you're going to get ready to buy, you have to forget about this not showing. You need to show your income, and you need to show as much income as possible, depending on the amount of the property that you're looking at. Because if you're looking for something that is $500,000, $600,000, or what is typically here in Florida, do we have anything under $300,000? That's typical. It's really nothing. So you must understand that if you want a bank to lend you $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, or $600,000, you must show them that you have the capacity to pay that loan back. So remember, different than from the years that you as a self-employed or as a corporation that you declare so much loss, this is not the time to show so much loss. You show as much as you can until you have purchased that property. Once you purchase that property, then Martha comes here again and tells you how do you use that property as an umbrella, right?
Exactly.
Because once you have a property, then there's a lot of stuff that can protect you, and that you have expenses that are really going into the property, right?
Exactly.
What do you do when you have a property? How do you make your accounting so to be more beneficial for you not to pay so much tax?
Let me do a little
Please.
parenthesis on what we were just saying that is important for me to remind you guys, is that not only you have to be aware of what the bank is trying to see on your statements, but also that you honor it. All the accounts that you have to pay. You have to pay even more. I mean, make a little bit more monthly payments on your all your.
So you mean like your credit card,
Exactly,
like your
exactly,
car,
on your card.
like any debt that you have, that you honor that debt on time, or pay a little bit more because that shows the bank that you're always honoring. Okay.
Exactly. And remember, there are other things that come to the game, and it's the credit. You have to have a really high credit report. So be sure that you have all that in order to maintain an open a possibility for you to.
For those of you guys who may have missed, I hope you didn't miss it, but if you missed the show that we were talking about credit, the lenders for conventional loans, the minimum that they start working with the credits is 620 and above. FHA is the only one that they start at 580. And remember, our VA, our heroes, though realistically VA doesn't really have a minimum credit requirement, I am going to tell you that most lenders do start and do want to lend when you have that 620 and above. So as Martha's saying, your credit, how on time you pay your things, how you are honoring all of your debt, a bank is looking at that and saying, wow, you are, I have faith. You're a potential buyer, and I have faith in lending you. And if your credit is good, anything above 620, if your credit's in the 700 and hundreds, oh, come on, a bank will love you. Any other tips, any other ideas, anything else that you can tell us as far as like accounting? What if you're a homeowner? Now, what shelters can your home can give you when you're doing taxes?
One other thing is, depends on if you are a first time or buy owner. The government is giving you a lot of opportunities to start they give you opportunities for you to get into a loans that are not
to the FHA loans
exactly.
with amazing interest. Is there like a protection for me? Like once I'm a homeowner, what is it that I can declare on my taxes that are expenses for my house?
Yes, of course. You can show all the insurance that you pay, the taxes, all the improvements that you do at home, and it helps with the energy saver energy. I mean, all that.
So when you buy those energy saving equipment, you get a credit on that too. You can put that in your taxes.
Well, when you make changes on the
okay,
means that would be
Okay. Well, oh my God, it's like we're talking and time is running out here. They're telling me that we're almost running out of time. Martha, as always, it's a pleasure to have you here. My God, and I know you're going to keep on coming back and bringing us. I want to remind you guys that please, please, please send us your questions. Send us your email so we can have, professionals like Martha come in and give you proper explanations. I'm going to be going into a commercial pretty soon, but I'm going to be right back. I have more information, more tips, and more stories right here in your show, in your home, Puertas Abiertas with Maricarmen Rodriguez at GKI Radio. And I know that Martha is going to join us again next week because I have so many questions for her coming up, and I want your questions to be into. So please join me next week when Martha will be back. Plus, don't go anywhere because we're going to do commercials. We're going to come back and we're going to keep on with the conversation right here at GKI Radio. This is Puertas Abiertas for you. We're back. We're back with you, and we're going right along. We had the guest that you guys heard previously, a lady in Spanish, telling us a horror story, how her house flooded up to the first floor. She's in New Jersey, was doing a hurricane. And I think that the biggest point that I want to mention, because I know she was giving us the story in Spanish, is that a few people here dropped the ball in certain aspects, which is, I'm not sure why the insurance, even though it covered, said that it was a moderate flood area. I think also she has said that she requested from her agent to check the record when she heard that the home was in a flood area. And I was not sure, nobody checked on the records that back in 2012, the house had flooded completely. She bought in 2020 during the pandemic. So, and she only was in the house for 9 months until it was Ida, right? It was the Hurricane Ida that hit New Jersey. They had so much rain that I think people even lost their life. Homes were completely lost. She was a little bit on a higher area, and still she said she had water, not only in her entire, what is it called? Like the basement and up to the first floor. Only her bedrooms were safe, that they actually went out the window. That's the level of the water where somebody in a boat came, and on that window on the second floor, they were able to escape. That, thank God, her insurance had flood insurance and covered, but it did not cover the content, which I'm not sure how that happened, because normally homeowners insurance cover the content, but I don't know the case exactly. It did not cover 2 cars because, unless you're fully covered, your car is not covered. So folks, this is a time for you to check on your insurances. We're now still like what I would call, we're in February, still our winter. Right before, don't even wait until there's a hurricane coming. That is too late. You will not get an insurance to bind you. The moment a storm gets named and is heading your direction, no insurance will touch you. So please be aware of that. Before the summer begins, check your insurance, check what your coverage is, make sure that you speak to your agent, that you have flood insurance. Flood insurance is not just for hurricane, folks. Something can break in your house and flood you. Make sure that you're aware of that. If you live close to rivers like this lady did, she was actually not in the coast. She was inside New Jersey. It's just that she had 2 rivers around her and bad location. And though her flood insurance was moderate, look at the catastrophe that a hurricane can do when it just hovers and stays on top of your area. She was saying how her neighbor was unable to recover, how folks even lost their life, businesses. So that is kind of crazy.
Wow, that is such a sad
I wanted to
story.
give you that information. Please, this is the time where, we're in the beginning of the year still. Check with your flood insurance. If you have a question for your agent and you wanted to check in your records if your house has ever flooded, please make sure that they're looking more than 3 or 5 years, that they're looking at further back to give you some guidance. The city sometimes change flood areas, but please make sure that you know what's the history of that area. I want to move into quickly to any questions that we have from the audience.
Yes, we have a question from Nancy. How many people can live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath? Can I have a 5-week-old baby living in a one, or do I need a 2-bedroom?
No, you don't. No, you don't. This is the protection that we have from the government, that any child under 5 years of age can be in a room with a parent. I don't know why any agent would say otherwise, because that is familial discrimination. If an owner tells you as a representative, I only want to rent to a couple, you say, hey, listen, I cannot discriminate with women with children or family with small children. That is clear. There's also something in the law that says that even though it's a 1-bedroom, maybe the person has an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, or it's a third person. It's all going to depend now on the square footage of the 1-bedroom home. If it has a Florida room, if it has like a den, definitely a third person can be there. It's all about the square footage.
Right.
But when it comes to small kids, please, 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 folks, make sure that that doesn't happen, because that is wrong. That is completely wrong. Of course, a child can be in a bedroom with two parents,
Absolutely.
and that shouldn't happen. I know this week with everything that we had in the stories, we're running short of time. This is really so nice.
Yes, it has been.
So nice to be able to be an instrument to help you of service, a place you can talk and come and bring us your story. We really care. We truly do. We really love what we do. I think it shows. Even our producer, sometimes I see him, you know, all like in there in the story. So that goes to show you that you guys matter. I want to thank you for giving us one more week in your presence. I am elated. I'm honored that you guys have me in your home or in your car and your radio and your phone every week. And I'm glad that you have loved our show. Right, Janet?
Yes, that's right. And all the great information and great stories that we got to hear. Thank you once again. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for having us. Thank you for listening to us. And we'll be back. GKI Radio.
You sure can. Hey, don't forget that our phone number is 407-476-9059. Our email is puertasabiertasshow@gmail.com. I want to say something quickly before I get cut off. I don't care what language you speak. I will find someone to translate. I don't care if you speak Russian, Portuguese, Creole, French,
Spanish,
Chinese, Korean. Bring me your questions. If English is your second language, or you're speaking of English to understand what the show is all about, but you feel more comfortable bringing the story in your language, please do. If I cannot translate or we don't know the language among us, I'll find someone who does, because you matter and we want to hear from you. Thank you so much. I see you next week. Bye, everybody. Love you. See you soon.
See you next week.